going to put some Daihatsu back in the Daihatsu. Alright. I know. So many videos in such a short time. Is the action shed actually getting to an upload schedule? Don't hold your fucking breath. Anyway, we're back down at the workshop. Lovely workshop. I've got to pick this rig up because two of my vehicles that are stored at my parents' house, they need to be moved. They're renovating the back and front yard, doing a new driveway, landscape and all that stuff, and they're in the way. So they've been parked there for a fairly long time. One of them is my 77 F10. That was my first car. And then I've got a fiberglass Jeep bodied F20 in the backyard that I paid way too much money for, and just sort of pisses me off every time I look at it, now that I know that I paid way too much money for it. But that's alright. So we've got a 3-hour drive ahead of us. I wanted to do it a bit early, but I stayed up too late watching YouTube videos. So 5:30 alarm rolled around and I turned it off. So 7 it is. Let's get it done. Anyway, I've got to throw the ramps on the back of the drop deck, and we'll start the long drive. We'll catch up to you when we get there. Alright, let's see if this rig starts. It's got a habit of drinking batteries flat, but a while ago I installed a battery isolator on it that people have a habit of leaving on, and it was left on this time. By me, because I drove this truck yesterday. But that's beside the fucking point, alright? Oh, what a fucking cream puff. She's good to me. Don't worry about them warning lights. They've been on since we bought it. That's fine. Righto, let's get out of here. Gears a little tricky to get into. So second, actually, I think it's a linkage issue. I haven't had time to fix it. But it's got the torque to pull away in third, so we've just been dealing with it. Fourth, you've got to like hit the gate and give it a wiggle. Like that. And then second, you either got to be fucking rough with it, or you've got to come to a complete stop. I thought it was synchro based. When I pulled the inspection cover off the gearbox when I serviced it, because the fill bung was in at about fucking 3 million Newton meters. And there's no metal in it, or brass, so I don't know. There we have it. First car. First Daihatsu. And it's very, very rusty. Yep. Purrs like a kid. Yeah, how did it start? Yeah. So that's the original FE10 1 litre. Don't worry about the main tank having rust in it because it hasn't had fuel in it forever. Still holds water. Look at that. Very aerated. Yeah, that's all bad. That's fine. The floor pan don't exist anymore. Yeah, so that's good. I put that seat in it. It was out of a Jeep, I think. Made the mounts and everything for it. I bought that chrome bezel off eBay ages ago. That's the battery light. The power reg's on its way out. But pull the choke out, give it a couple of pumps, and she'll fire it up straight away. So the plan is that one's getting a cab swap. I'm working on a replacement cab, but we're not there yet. So it's going to a mate's place. And while we're here, my parents are doing all the front yard, doing concrete and everything. I've got that thing to pick up. That's an F20 with a Jeep body on it. Fiberglass Jeep body. It used to be done by OG Fiberglass up in Noosa. They're now out of business. I'll show you a bit more on that. We've got to wait for the concrete to dry a bit more before we can pull that out. So it'll be middle of tomorrow before we get the Jeep out. But yeah, bought that for way too much money. Yeah, well, we'll get there. Oh, the other thing is, check this out. So, these old girls, these are Selectro perfect circle hubs, quarter turn locking hubs. That's Dana stuff, Jeep stuff, because it's a copy of a Dana 35, just closed knuckle. And then I got these on the little 10, the army coloured one. These are actual Dana perfect circle locking hubs, quarter turns. I bought them out of America years ago. Right, one of them things. Well, I'll get the ramps on the big truck, drive that onto the back of it, we'll haul it down to my mate's place, where it can sit for a little while longer. Look at this bloody pelican. If I can follow a little bit close. Righto, we're here at my mate's house. Hill Fab. Hit him up on Instagram if you got any four-wheel drive stuff. I didn't anticipate this happening. Check the roof out. Just it goes to show how rusty this rig is. Probably a good thing it didn't fall off while I was fucking handing it down the highway. A fella pulled up next to me and said, "Hey man, the truck on the back's moving." I'm like, "Oh, it's moving, is it?" "Yeah, whatever, bruh." It's like, fuck, it's got 3 straps on it, ain't moving anywhere. I think he means like the roof was moving off the car, but that's right. I'll finagle it back on to try and keep some of the water out, and we'll get her off this fucking ramp, and we'll see where old Hill Fab wants to put it for now. Right, here it is, where it's going to sit for a while until I can organise a replacement cab for it. So, the reason why I like this one, or why I want to put it back together, it's got really good parts in it. So I could part it out, but I don't want to. One, it was my first car, and the other thing is, it is an actual factory hardtop F10. So they were a removable hardtop. This is a 2-year only body. So 74, 75, they were only soft tops. 76, 77, you had an option of soft top, hard top, and the hard top was this, where you could actually literally unbolt the hard top. See, the seam along there and all the bolts, where it's all rusted out. And then 78 up had hard top, soft top, but the hard top was a welded hard top. They did still keep these vertical vents until 1980. So I'm trying to find, and I have lines on, an actual factory hard top 77 F10, so it'll be all the same, and then I can just put that cab on this chassis, because my chassis is good, the drive line's all good. Unfortunately the body went on it. It originally come from Taree, so it's probably a beach car, which is no doubt why it rusted all up in here, because you can never really get the salt out once it's in there. Salt cars always rust in weird spots. Yeah, I did have an idea of maybe just turning it into a soft top, just get a soft top F20 and then put a soft top cab on it, and then just run the hard doors. But I prefer it to be a hardtop though, because that's what it was. And then when they first went to these hardtops, 76, 77, they didn't have any of the pressings in the door. They were flat, as you can see on there. So they're very drummy. And then this lock, the key actually just disengages the lock from the mechanism on the inside. They're pretty basic. And then because they were so drummy and had issues with cracking glass and that, they eventually went and had the X pressed into them and stuff like that with the later generations. Yeah. Also, the number plate used to hang down here. That's an F20 for the later generation number plate and spare tyre carrier. I put on it to get the number plate up higher. They are F10 tail lights, and the little flange on the bottom's where the mud flap's supposed to go. Yeah. So, we'll sit here for a little bit. We'll get a body for it and put a body on it. Because the bones are good. The rest of it's good. I probably won't bother putting that seat back in there though. I don't know why I fucking put it in. Oh, I did. Back then, you got charged a higher rate for registration and insurance if it was a two-seater, because they class it as a cargo carrying vehicle. So I was broke apprentice back then, so I put a seat in it. I wonder if I got the key for the back door. I used to. It's like, this is literally like a bundle of Daihatsu keys. I don't know which one it is. I thought it was like a round back key that used to get. I don't know, I'll work it out. Righto, day 2. Second vehicle. Here it is. This is the Mud Rat. I should never fucking bought it, but I did anyway. So it's a 78 F20 underneath, and it's a fiberglass Willis Jeep body that a mob in Queensland called OG Fiberglass used to make way back in the day. They done it for Zooks and Daihatsus and stuff like that. If you have a look at the floor pan, it's early, so it's 74, 75 floor pan that they've copied, because the 74, 75s have the wiring harness come down through here. And then the later ones, 77 and up, it went through like the inner portion of the inner rocker panel. So it's Daihatsu floor pan they've copied, and wheel arches, and they've done the Jeep body over the top. It's been sitting for a fucking long time. Because whilst it was in storage, someone thought it would be a good idea to light the tarp on fire that it was covered by, and it melted this whole corner off. So yeah, not real happy. It also had a back on it. Would have had a back on it originally. The guy I got it off cut it off to turn it into a ute, and there was a big bit of checker plate bolted on there. As you can see, because he's cut it off, like everything's flexed and just fucking generally shit. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. For now, we'll just park it here, and maybe it'll get turned into a comp truck. Who knows what the future holds for it. I just had to get it out of Mum and Dad's place, and now it's at Hillfab, and we'll work it out from there. Let's get it off the tray. There we have it. resting place for now for two of my multitude of vehicles. Yeah, not bad. Put it in the dead row and forget about it for a little bit. Nah, we'll see if we can get a body for that. Yeah, so we'll shut it down there. It's a fucking short and sweet one, just going to pick up a couple of cars, moving around. But it's Daihatsu related, so it goes on the channel, mate. It's the fucking long and short of it, I tell you. Anyway. Whew, that was hard work, I tell you. That thing don't run. You fellas, keep your upper side down. We'll catch you on the next one.